Elon can't do and won't do anything without our approval. And we'll give him the approval where appropriate. Where not appropriate, we won't. Where we think there's a conflict or there's a problem, we won't let him go near it.
Yeah, that's a lie. Donald Trump has literally no idea what Donald Trump or his little band of incels is doing in the government. You think, what do you think? He's following him around, he's getting progress reports? No, he has no idea. He is owned by Elon Musk, so he has unleashed Elon Musk to go to harm his competitors, to benefit himself, all in the name of finding corruption, with the entire endeavor being the definition of corruption. And hey, we have an amazing example of it for today's show. The State Department apparently plans to buy $400 million of armored Tesla Cybertrucks.
Jesus.
Which is simultaneously wildly corrupt, considering that Elon Musk paid Trump's way into the presidency and is doing all this stuff. And also the dumbest idea I've ever heard. Cybertrucks can't even make it through a car wash without breaking down. You have to worry about dead bugs ruining the finish. That's how poorly they're manufactured. And you think slapping more metal on top of them when they can barely function as it is a solution to all of our problems? So as he's going around, this is how cheaply people are bought and their identity politics nonsense. They say, Elon Musk found that USAID paid $30,000 for a trans opera, even though it wasn't USAID, it was a State Department, a totally different thing. So we got rid of 30,000, that's corruption. 400 million to Tesla. You know how many trans operas you could buy with that? I didn't do the math because it's too stupid to consider, but yeah, that's how cheaply they're bought. Now this is for 2025. I'm assuming they'll have to pay more once they start all breaking down.
Boy, oh boy, oh boy, oh boy, oh boy. So we got to talk about another far left conspiracy theory that seems to have fallen apart just under the tiniest bit of research, okay? Because these leftists really want it to be true that Elon Musk has bought the government and he's a robber baron that is essentially robbing taxpayers, taking all their money so that he can enrich himself, even though Elon Musk is already the richest person in the world. And if Elon Musk wanted to make more money, then he should have stayed liberal, right? I'm just saying, the worst business decision Elon Musk ever made was to come out as a Trump supporter, right? Because since then, you have the powers that be trying to bankrupt the guy. Now, the reason why they're not successful is because Elon's products are just that good, especially for the United States government. Like, for example, we went over this, SpaceX. The leftists keep talking about, oh, the government needs to get rid of Elon's contracts, conflict of interest. And I'm like, well, I mean, here's the thing. Elon's contracts have saved the government billions of dollars. Like when it comes to NASA has saved over $40 billion using SpaceX. Well, why is that? It's because SpaceX can do everything that NASA does better and cheaper. Okay, we're talking about 4 to 10 times cheaper than what NASA can do. Now, again, because these leftists are economically illiterate, right? And they also don't have any business savvy or anything like that. They don't understand this concept that quite literally having the government say, screw Elon, we're not going to work with Elon, is actually going to cost taxpayers more money. But they don't give a damn about that. This is why they're so upset by the Doge initiative, right? Cutting out waste, fraud, and abuse. Leftists love waste, fraud, and abuse, okay? This is why they're so mad and they're upset. So anyways, with that being said, we have to give some credit where credit is due, because Anna Kasparian is going to basically check Rachel Maddow for pushing this conspiracy about how the Trump administration is giving Elon Musk and Tesla $400 million, when the reality is that this contract from the State Department actually happened under the Biden administration. But that important detail is going to be left out in the so-called journalism here from Rachel Maddow, who's trying to roast Elon Musk and Tesla. So without further ado, let's get into it.
Well, now as the top campaign donor to U.S. President Donald Trump, Elon Musk has apparently somehow convinced the United States government, specifically the United States Department of State, that the taxpayers of the United States of America should spend $400 million buying, quote, armored Tesla production units.
MSNBC's Rachel Maddow covered that alarming story on her show last night, but she's leaving out some pretty crucial details about that massive Tesla contract. And we'll tell you what the details are after you watch the rest of what she had to say.
Since I think the only supposedly armored production vehicles Tesla makes are these hilarious trucks, this really appears to be the State Department announcing, putting in writing that it's going to spend $400 million buying these paperweights from Elon Musk. This is a line item in the latest procurement forecast for the US Department of State.
So this is where the story actually takes some twists and turns. And I would venture to say that the producers over at the Rachel Maddow show on MSNBC were fully aware of the dates involved on this procurement documentation. So bear with us as we go through the details. Ryan Grimm of Dropsite News first reported on this contract yesterday, but what Grimm reported is a little bit different from what Rachel Maddow reported. So let me give you the relevant portion of Ryan Grimm's reporting here, where he says that the State Department's procurement forecast, revised as of late December 2024, lists Tesla as the recipient of the largest expected contract, with Marco Rubio's department planning to buy $400 million worth of armored Tesla. The procurement forecast is listed as having been modified on December 13th, 2024, a month after Donald Trump's election. It was a month after Donald Trump's election, but it was obviously before he had been inaugurated, before he was officially in office. In other words, the State Department would have issued that contract under Biden's administration.
Yeah, so again, Biden decided to give Elon Musk the 400 million, or his State Department did, right? Which, you know, it's just hilarious how Rachel Maddow is kiki and ha-ha about the government spending 400 million to purchase armored Teslas. It's such a silly idea, right? Who would come up with something like that? Well, the Biden State Department did. Again, that's the hilarious part about this. This is what I love about the left, okay? These people, they are so Trump deranged, they're so Elon deranged that they are just making shit up at this point, right? They're trying to find something, right, to really go after Elon over, but they can't. The problem that they don't understand is that Elon Musk is actually way smarter than all of these people want to give him credit for. The dude is always 5, 6, 7 steps ahead. Like, you know, when it comes to X, and all these people keep talking about, oh, well, Elon Musk purchased X for $40 billion and he lost all his money. Well, first and foremost, the only reason that X has lost money is because of boycotts from liberal advertisers. But even despite all that, X is basically break even now. In fact, I think they're actually making a profit. And on top of that, he's basically already made the money back through Gronk, right? Through XAI, because he's raised billions of dollars in venture capital for his startup, and it's worth over $40 billion, right? So he's already made the money back. See, these leftists don't understand that. Again, you can hate billionaires, right? But at some point, it becomes irrational to just hate billionaires. And that's the thing that I'm noticing about these leftists. Their main criticism of Elon has nothing to do with his actual work, okay? Nothing to do with that at all. It's just the fact that he's a billionaire. And when you just hate somebody because they're more successful than you, because they have more money than you, because they produce things, right? They actually, you know, provide a good to society instead of boohoo, whining, and crying about how the rich have more than they do. The criticisms start to sound really, really, really dumb, right? That's what happens. Like what Rachel Maddow was doing there. It just sounded really, really, really dumb when you just read at all about that State Department contract and when it happened. It's like, okay, well, Rachel Maddow, you basically roasting Biden and the Democrats. They're the ones that made the decision, which is funny. It's hilarious, right? Elon's products are so good that despite the fact that Democrats hate Elon, they still have to use his products. They still have to use SpaceX. They still have to use Starlink. They still have to order Teslas. Why is that? It's because his products are that good. And just imagine being somebody that doesn't want one of the greatest innovators of our generation. And I'm not Elon glazing. Like I'm only giving him credit where credit is due, because he's done things that are that amazing in regards to his companies. Imagine saying, oh, we don't need that type of process in the government, right? We don't need that. We don't need that type of influence. This dude is reportedly sleeping on the floor in his office in DC. Allegedly. Now, again, there's stories about Elon Musk sleeping in his factories and stuff like that. So I don't doubt it. But the type of work ethic that this man has is legendary, right? It's the type of work ethic that honestly should inspire this country. This is what we should get back to. You know, people that have that much drive and motivation, that we can look at that and say, you know what, that is something to admire. But no, that's not the takeaway. That's never the takeaway when it comes to this type of stuff. I mean, you know, it's just, here's the thing. Leftists are upset about something that happens in every administration. Best believe if Kamala was president, you don't think Mark Cuban would be in her ear influencing her? I think he would, right? He spent a whole lot of money on Kamala's campaign, okay? If the leftists are going to be upset about billionaires having influence over the government, then they really need to start with their own party, because billionaires have bought the Democrat Party and they bought the Republican Party too. Don't get me wrong. They have. But let's be real. The difference is that what you have with Elon Musk, you actually have transparency. You know, okay, well, this dude is working with the government in order to make the government more efficient, right? Again, you can agree or disagree with it. I understand that. But again, the Democrats, the same thing happens, okay, under their administration, except it's not transparent, right? It happens behind closed doors. They don't tell you out loud that, hey, this guy's pulling my strings. And I'm not even saying that Elon Musk is pulling Trump's strings. I don't think that's the case. I actually legitimately believe that the Trump team, particularly, again, people like Russell Vought, Stephen Miller, others, like, yeah, I mean, this is something conservatives have always wanted to do. We've always wanted to basically dismantle the administrative state and to make the government more lean and efficient and smaller. This is something we've always wanted to do. Elon Musk is just a means of doing that, right? That's all it is. So again, I don't even think it's more of Elon, you know, controlling Trump and making all decisions. I don't even think he's making all decisions. I legitimately think that this was something that the Trump team wanted to do the whole time. We all knew this, that they kept complaining about Project 2025. Well, a vast majority of Project 2025 was about making the government smaller. So to say that, well, Elon Musk is doing all this, Elon Musk is why this is happening, I don't think that's actually the case. I think the Trump administration is using Elon Musk, not the other way around. And, you know, ultimately at the end of the day, considering Elon's track record when it comes to his ability to innovate and to create efficient organizational structures, you know, I mean, he's probably the best guy for the job, right? If you're talking about trying to cut down the government.
So I'm sure Rachel Maddow is going to correct that on a subsequent broadcast. I can't wait to see it. But after Grimm's initial report, the Trump administration did something interesting. So Grimm reported this morning, let's take a look at this. After DropSite News revealed Tesla was forecast to be given $400 million contract for armored Tesla, the State Department altered its spreadsheet to obscure Tesla's role. Metadata shows the spreadsheet was revised several hours after our story published. And the twists and turns don't stop there. So after that post, the State Department reached out to DropSite News directly, which sounds kind of scary, but it's not, because they wanted to say that the Tesla contract is actually now on hold. DropSite News then updated their reporting accordingly, and they also reported that the new information about how the contract came to be, they say that the acquisition plan was set in motion by the Biden administration last year as part of a move to convert the Bureau of Diplomatic Security's fleet of roughly 3,000 armored vehicles into zero-emission electric vehicles by 2023. And in April of last year, the Bureau of Diplomatic Security issued a request for information to see which electric vehicle manufacturers would be interested in taking on that request. Now, according to the Trump State Department, only one company showed any interest in this contract, and that one company happened to be Tesla.
Well, that would make sense because as far as I know, the Cybertruck, Tesla, they're the only company that's making basically armored electric vehicles. Now, I could be wrong about that, but I think that's kind of how Elon advertised the Cybertruck from the beginning that, hey, you're going to have extra protection that, you know, random people just can't run up on you. So once again, like I told you guys, what do we have here? We have the government, Biden's government asking for a very specific thing that only Elon Musk can provide, right? That only Tesla can provide. Again, it's amazing how that works. They can't stop giving Elon Musk money even though they want to, because his products are that good. They're that good. Hilarious.
The State Department stated that the next step in the process would involve an official solicitation being sent out to vehicle manufacturers to bid, adding that, however, the solicitation is on hold and there are no current plans to issue it. So, Cenk, what do you make of this story? All of it, because, you know, there's some suspicion that the Trump administration is going to give Tesla that contract anyway, but they don't want it to appear as though, you know, Elon Musk's conflict of interests are playing a role in the decisions that are being made in the Trump White House. I'm curious what you think.
Yeah, of course, as usual, I have fairly strong feelings about it. But first, God, I love our poll on this one. So this one's in the live chat, shows live 6 o'clock Eastern every day. Who's the biggest villain here? Elon Musk, Rachel Maddow, Donald Trump, Joe Biden? It's a really good question because Joe Biden's the one that made the deal for the Teslas. So, I mean, how can we blame Trump? That's the most irrational thing in the world.
I mean, what does that say about your audience, right? That they're irrational. Again, that reflects heavily on your audience that they can't call a spade in this situation and say that Rachel Maddow is the bad guy in this situation, not Elon Musk. Again, his products are so good that the government, like, they don't have anybody else they can go to. And that's why the whole conflict of interest thing is not, like, to me, is almost like, well, I mean, if Tesla is the only company that can provide the product, or Elon is the only guy that can do what the government needs to be done, I mean, if they were smart, they're going with him anyways. They don't have a choice but to choose him. So that kind of nullifies the whole conflict of interest thing. It's one thing if Elon had average products and there was a ton of different companies that could provide the same service, but that's actually not the case, okay, with a lot of these contracts that Elon Musk is getting from the government. Again, this is why I laugh when these people try to claim that Elon Musk is a welfare queen, right? Oh, he's just living off the government. It's like, well, again, the government is literally paying Elon because nobody else can do what the government is requesting. So, you know, again, all of this is just hilarious to me.
I mean, we just call him a racist for no reason. I don't know, but like Biden's administration is the one that did this contract. Anna, I'm not missing it, right? There's no dispute over that.
You are not missing it. Based on the documents, this deal was made under the Biden administration, and based on the updates to this story, which was reported by Ryan Grimm on Dropsite News, a source that we trust, the Trump administration has put this whole, this whole thing on hold entirely. The notion of buying the EV armored vehicles.
I mean, if he cancels the Musk order, the Tesla order, then you actually have to give Trump a lot of credit. Like Biden wanted to give 400 million to Tesla and Trump is saying no. I don't think he'll cancel it. I think this is an easy layup for him because he'll get to say, well, I didn't give it to him, Biden gave it to him. Because Biden did give it to him. So, look, I'd be surprised if they didn't go forward with this. And then, again, the source matters here. And Ryan Grimm is one of the most trusted reporters in the country, cares deeply about the facts, et cetera. So if it turns out that it's also true that there was no other bidders, I hate no bid contracts, but if there's no other bidders, what are you gonna do, right? So, look, I'm curious.
Yeah, so you seen that, you heard that. If there's no other bidders, what are you gonna do? Well, you're gonna work with Elon Musk. I mean, that, or you just don't have electric armored vehicles, which, if the Trump administration decides they don't want to do that, right? If they want to get rid of that, honestly, that's not a bad idea, right? They can come out and say, hey, we don't want to get on board with the Green New scam. So therefore, we're canceling this contract with Tesla to get all these armored Cybertrucks, right? These electric ones. If they actually were to do that, watch how the media's head would explode, right? How they would try to mental gymnastics their way through trying to say that somehow, some way, this is more proof and evidence that Elon runs the government, right? So I'm just saying, maybe that might be worth doing just to see how the media reacts. I'm not sure if they're going to keep the contract or what. Regardless, it was done by Biden. It's just hilarious that these leftists are trying to frame it as Trump giving Elon Musk $400 million. Again, it's just not like it's just hilarious, right? These people that claim to be grounded in journalism and that they're all about the facts. They're not all about spreading misinformation. They're doing the exact same thing they're accusing everybody else of doing. They're doing the exact same thing. And they know damn well that that contract was given under Biden, but they don't care. They're just so desperate to smear Elon Musk, they will just make stuff up. So anyways, credit where credit's due. Anna Kasparian calling out Rachel Maddow for basically not doing journalism, right? For pushing propaganda. Let me know what you guys think. Make sure you like, comment, and subscribe. Most importantly, share a Black conservative perspective. Peace.